On this episode of Lloyd's Pro Wrestling Writing and Booking Tips, we're going to take a look at how I book and how I write a show. Okay, here's something I'm often asked, and I was actually asked recently on a comment on another episode. For me, it goes book, then game, then write, and then I book again as I write. This is a bit complicated, but I'll show you on a spreadsheet in a moment. But first, just a caveat, I tend to play as sports entertainment companies with 4 or 5 TVs leading to a pay-per-view. It's a format I like and it works for me. I've written Lucha Underground Diaries before and Raw in the CornellVerse, who had no pay-per-views, but for the purpose of this, I'll do a scaled-down version of my normal spreadsheet and booking document. Okay, so on the left here, I've got my roster. This is completely made up. I've added all these names in myself. I've got them in order of megastars, stars, etc. as we work our way down. And then their popularity is next to their name. I've made some basic stories for the purpose of this. For example, the Ghoul family. KC is the big star, Chris and Billy are his younger brothers, and then their sister Samantha accompanies to the ring. She's actually married to Davis Ghoul Johnson, so that's there just to remind me. He's in a different stable with his brother John Johnson, who's the main heel in the company. Now, for the purpose of this, of course, the Johnsons also have a stable behind them, and I decided that Davis recently cheated on Samantha, so there's beef between the two stables. Elsewhere, we've got Jack and Joey Excellence, Jack Standard and Joey Excellence. They were the best tag team in the company. They've recently split. I'm aiming to make them into megastars because in my head, the Mac has injured a lot. He's one of the biggest names. Militant is winding down, and Dave Smith is a legend. He's in his sort of late 40s, so he's looking to wind down as well. So I need to create big stars, those guys, and Kurt Chambers, who think Kurt Angle with him. He's the biggest young star in the company, so yeah, we're going to be pushing him hard as well. So I'm not going to go into too much detail other than that. Over here, I have booked the first show, and what I mean by booking it is putting it in my booking document, and it looks a bit like this. On a 2-hour show, I'll have 5 or 6 matches, but this is a 1-hour show for the purpose of this. 3 matches. I've got the 3 members of the Ghoul family facing 3 of the Johnson Company Inc. stable. But we kick off with a quick promo from the Company Inc. stable. They come out. Dave Smith says the title is going to be his at the next pay-per-view, and Casey Cool wants his brother-in-law Davis at Liberty and Justice, which is the next pay-per-view. When I book a show, I make sure I use my megastars. They're always on every TV show in some form. My stars and most of my well-knowns. So these are the ones that I will really sort of focus all my stories around and all my matches around. But the rest of them can miss a show or two. It's no problem if they miss a show. And when I say use, by the way, I don't mean it in a match. I just mean I'll use them in some way. Maybe they just get mentioned, or maybe there's a picture of them somewhere or something like that. I try and aim for an excellent main event. So on this one, I'm going to do Jack Standard versus Joey Excellent as the blow-off match from their feud. I also try and have a strong final segment, so I'm using my young force there with Militant being revealed as an enforcer for the upcoming match between Kurt Chambers and Joey Excellence. And I've also got obviously the big opening promo as well, so I try and use these major stars for those. When I use a wrestler in a match, I actually turn them grey over here, so let's do that for all the people who are in a match, and you can see that quite visually. Bear with me whilst I do this. So I turn them all grey once they're in a match. The reason I'm doing this way is because I'm holding the microphone. My stand is broken, so I can't put the microphone down and use 2 hands, but that's okay. Right, so those guys are in matches on this particular TV show. Anyone who's in a non-wrestling segment, so we've got these guys in the first segment, along with Dave Smith. Then we've got this segment here, which is next week. We've got a 4-way tag title match, so that's these two. Ooh. These two. Damp Flame and the guys. Then we've got the Masked Baddie taking out the Masked Goodie backstage. That's naughty of him. And then the main event, or the final thing, is Kurt Chambers coming out to celebrate with Jack Standard, and then the Militant getting involved as well. Right, so you can see that at the moment Billy the Wiz isn't used. So what I might do is I might say, right, he's not on the show at all. Let's maybe put him in this segment and have him save the day, and then he can maybe attack Masked Baddie, and that can lead to something at some point. Okay, so you can see now that these guys aren't used. It doesn't matter too much if they miss a show. I could always add in a little promo or a little video package for them. Maybe they've got a match coming up in a couple of weeks or something like that. Down here are my injured people, just by the way. So I will then plug this into the game. The game will then give me my ratings. So let's say I got a 85, and then I got 10,000 fans in attendance, and I keep a note of that so that I can write it on the show that I'm doing. Then I will put in the match ratings. So this one was a 50. This one was a 65. And this one was 120 out of 100. There you go. So once I've done that, I will then go to the writing bit. So here I say that Dave Smith is going for the title. So I turn that green. So the next pay-per-view then is, that match is set in stone. Dave Smith says the title's his. He's having it. Casey Gould wants his brother Davis. Doesn't mean Davis has said yes. So I still need another segment at some point before that, maybe week 4 or week 3, where he says finally it's going to happen. And the rest we still don't know. Then I write the match. Cool Family beat the Samoans and Serena. Then we've got this segment, which is where I promote a tag team title match for next week. So, bear with me, like I say, I'm still holding my microphone. Next week I have got this match coming up, so I make sure I put that into next week. So as I'm writing this segment and putting it into my show, I make sure that next week I make this 4-way, and I'll just put number 1 so that I know that's a number 1 contendership match. Then, alright, this match, $1 Billion Brian loses to Funk Man. The Masked Baddie takes out the Masked Goodie. Billy saves. I might now say Billy the Wiz, Billy the TW, calls out Masked Baddie. And then I might say, oh, he doesn't show up or something like that. I might add that in. Jack Standard versus Joey Excellence. No surprise to see that score 120 out of 100. And then Kurt Chambers comes out and Jack and him celebrate. And then Joey announces that Militant is his enforcer for the match at the next pay-per-view. So we might then do Jack Standard against Militant on TV. Militant is a big, badass. Oh, I fixed the wrong bit. So we might do something like that to build towards that match. And Militant might actually destroy Jack, which would upset Kurt because he's a good friend. I want Matt and Jeff, which is Matt Jefferson and Jeff Matthews, to win that match. So I'll turn them bold. That just reminds me they win. When I then finish this show, all I do is I go boom, like that, cut that, insert it there, and then I rename this week 3. Get rid of this information here. So now I'm on to this show. Now throughout the process of writing the previous show, I will have added in some segments here, and then what I do, turn on this black, do the same again, so put these guys in grey because they're in a match, put this guy in red because he's called out the Masked Baddie, they're in red, and then once I work out who's missing, I fill in the gaps based on the height of the card and how high they are on the card, or if they're in some sort of story. And of course next week we're going to see Matt and Jeff win, so they're going to take on the Samoans. We know that match is happening now because of the final segment, and then at some point, like I say, here or the following show, Davis will accept KC's challenge, and then there's some other bits coming up that I've got in the plans, so you can just sort of see where I'm going with this. I put little notes as to which kind of show it is. This is a little spoiler for my USPW diary that I'm going to do some kind of red wedding scene at Liberty and Justice, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful. This is a really long one, so let me know if you like the idea of a longer episode. Yeah. So I hope that helped, guys, and thanks again for watching to the end. To support me and the show and my channel, please make sure you subscribe for free. Get your likes in, get your comments in, and don't forget, if there's anything that you'd like me to discuss in more detail or anything you're struggling with when it comes to wrestling, writing or booking, hit me with a comment or a DM on the GDS boards. It'd be great to hear from you.